Middle Eastern money is coming to rugby union. At least that's according to the ever-growing number of reports linking the sport to potentially massive investment from the likes of Qatar, Saudi Arabia and the UAE. If that is the case, such an investment would see rugby join the likes of golf, Formula 1 and boxing in accepting huge amounts of cash in exchange for providing exposure to countries looking to establish themselves on the global stage. This week, The Times and The Telegraph both reported that there are moves to create a live golf-style 8-team league with the biggest names in rugby earning salaries of around $700,000 a year. Details on this new venture have been scarce, but the sheer amount of investment that would be required to get it off the ground has led some to speculate that it must be being backed by a sovereign wealth fund, such as the Saudi PIF. Now, we are still in the early days of this story, and to be honest, a lot of the reports are kind of conflicting. Some say that this is a done deal and it's due to kick off in 2026. Others say that it's just a proposal and it's gone no further than the negotiation stage. But if it is true, then this wouldn't be the first time that rugby has been linked with investment from the Middle East. There is already some Middle Eastern investment in the game, with Qatar Airways having a link to world champion South Africa. Meanwhile, the UAE play host to WXV3, the third tier of the annual women's tournament. But this influence is looking to grow, as Qatar have been openly bidding to host the Nations League finals from 2026 onwards. Meanwhile, the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund have been linked to buying out multiple English Premiership clubs. Elsewhere, the All Blacks have said that they are open-minded about staging games in the Middle East, whilst the region has said that they want to host a Rugby World Cup within the next decade or so. Now, all of these reports have been met by outcry from rugby fans who don't want to see their sport or their club implicated in any kind of sports washing allegations. There is also the lesser concern that rugby's traditional heartlands are far removed from places like Qatar and the UAE. So why would rugby even be considering such a move in the first place? The fact is that in most countries, rugby union is desperate for money. The UK is the perfect example of this, where no fewer than 4 professional clubs have gone bust, and the national unions of England, Scotland and Wales are all looking to either reduce debt or cut costs and become more financially sustainable. Elsewhere, New Zealand and Australia have also had their money issues, whilst even Ireland are looking to cut costs. What's more, it should be noted that the amount of money to make a game-changing impact into rugby is a relative pittance compared to what the likes of Saudi Arabia have been spending in other sports. For instance, the Saudi-owned Newcastle United spent £65 million signing striker Alexander Isak. For the price of this single transfer, they could have funded every single English Premiership team up to the salary cap for an entire year. And that's before we get to the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, who is currently being paid hundreds of millions per season to play his club football in Saudi. In comparison, the budgets of even the biggest top 14 clubs look tiny. But would rugby even be suitable for what Middle Eastern regimes are trying to achieve with the likes of golf? Rugby union is still a niche sport with limited global reach. Owning something like an English Premiership rugby club is going to have a minimal impact compared to something like hosting a Grand Prix or a big boxing match. International men's rugby is the only part of the sport that would draw the necessary eyeballs, but intriguingly, one report suggests this is not what the Middle East is targeting. The highest ranked Middle Eastern men's side is currently the UAE, who sit 51st in the world. Even with huge investment, it could be decades before they qualify for a World Cup, let alone win one. The women's game, however, is thought to be much more of an opportunity. Women's international rugby is still going through its transition from amateurism to professionalism, and it's perceived that even a small amount of investment in coaching and pathways could see a nation climb the world rankings relatively quickly. Gloucester chairman Martin St Quintin, whose club has held talks with the Middle East, says this is exactly what they're planning to do. However, this too would be highly problematic given that the UAE has laws that not only discriminate against women, but also against queer people. Given that this is a sport where it's not unusual for teammates to be married to each other, you can see why for many fans this is an irreconcilable problem. Nevertheless, rugby's thirst for investment of any kind leads one to believe that Middle Eastern money will be coming to the sport in one form or another. I know this video addresses somewhat of an emotive topic, so if people have strong views they want to leave down in the comments, that's totally fine. If you have enjoyed the video, please consider giving a like and a subscribe, it really helps the channel grow. If you do want to support the channel even more, you can get membership for just 99p per month. If you do that, you'll get access to exclusive content that no one else can see. Anyway, stay tuned for lots of analysis over the autumn internationals of all of the teams that are playing, hopefully winning as well, and I'll see you next week. Cheers.